Hello viewers, I welcome you to another edition of the Experience Talk Show. I am by name Delight Abel, and with me in the studio is my fellow presenter
Francis Odeh.
You're welcome once again. So today's talk is going to be an interactive section, and before I go on, I want to ask you, have you ever been afraid of something before? Just answer that within yourself. I know you have been. So join us on this interactive session as we talk about the topic handling fears. Before I go on, Sir Francis, what do you think is fear, or what's your own definition of fear?
All right, thank you so much. Fear could mean many things,
Okay.
and we have lots of definition to fear, but my own personal ways of defining fear is just simple, and I even jotted it down before the program. Fear is a natural response to perceived threat.
Okay.
So in other words, we can say that fear is a threat. Threat on a result, or threat on development, or threat on maybe what you want to actualize. So fear could connote many things. So it has to do with the situation at present that will not define what that particular fear is actually all about.
All right. Thank you so much. Just one definition of fear already giving us. So, all right. So for me, I define fear as an unusual emotion.
That's
Or on an emotion actually. Fear could either be emotion caused by actual threats or perceived, either actual or perceived danger or threats, just like you said.
Yes.
So I realize that in life we have fears. My fears are peculiar to me, likewise yours. A 5-year-old could be scared of scared of failing a particular subject in school, or rather, how do I put it now? That's okay. A 5-year-old, the fear of that 5-year-old could be not failing in school. Why? Because if he dares fails, mommy and daddy will lash at him. So that could be his own fear. While a grown-up now could be fearful about, or maybe could have fears about making it in life,
Yes.
fears about marriage, fears of failure. It differs, okay? Just as our faces are different.
Yes.
So as we go further into the discussion, can you share one or two experiences? I realize that our experiences help us, and also help those that are watching us right now.
Yes.
So I want to believe that maybe there could be an experience of yours that you're fearful about something, and then how were you able to handle it? Or let me put it this way. Let's assume you were afraid of something. Yes, you were fearful, and the first instance, you're going to be sharing two experiences.
Right.
The first instance, your fear conquered you because you were not able to handle it.
Yeah.
And then the second instance, you were able to handle it, so your fears could not conquer you. Do you have any experience or two experiences?
All right, thank you so much for the privilege once again. Another thing I would say concerning my inability to handle some situations about my life,
Okay.
that as a result of fear is, let me use my academies as an instance.
All right.
So then when I was in 100 level, there is this particular course that people always fail. You understand? So because of that negativity about the course, I was unable to perform well, because my mind was already being polluted with a lot of information that won't warrant me, to giving my best.
So sorry. So we could say you were actually overcrowded by negativity.
Yes, informations and all of those things. And then because of that, my mind was divided. Even though when I'm reading the course or trying to go through my handout, I don't see the best of me, because the course was, though later on, and I found out that the course is the most simplest one.
That's it.
Because of what I was hearing, so I now tuned my mind, and my focus was not on what people were saying, not what I'm able to do.
Okay.
You understand? So because of that, because I pay more attention to negative informations, so it developed fear, and I was unable to pass the course.
Oh, sorry about that.
Thank you. So because of that, so that is one experience. So the other one I must say is that is still the same thing, because but how I was able to do well in that course, despite even this particular one is more even tougher than the one I was afraid before. But I was able to follow proper counsel, because I realized that what affected me in my previous course was lack of appropriate information.
That's true.
So what I did next was to follow proper information. Okay, what are the guidance? What are the things I need to do? What are the things I need to know about this course? What are the secrets? Okay, what are the more information that I need to research on about this particular course? So I was a privilege to meet one of my lecturers. So he told me many things. Okay, this is what you do on your own part, do like this, and then do more research online on your own, create time to study, when you are exhausted, rest, and all of those things. So I was able to follow those procedures, and that evacuate the fear.
Okay.
So with that, another the previous one is tuning my mind to negative and wrong information about the perspective of the course. And another experience is following the due and the appropriate information and procedure or guidance. So that helps me to, even when the course was in the exam, I was smiling and then enjoying myself, because appropriate and adequate information was gathered about the course. So that's it.
I can also relate to that. Okay, let me also share my experience. And thank God I'm a student, so my experience also cut across the four walls of the university. The first experience I had was actually a positive one. So also in my first year in school, there was this course called Chem 113, a chemistry course. That course, when I came to school, I was determined to pass. Actually, I came with a determination to pass, to do well in school. So after one of the lectures, I remember a senior. I can't say the level she was, but I know that she was ahead of me. So she asked me, "Did you just finish attending this particular lecture?" I told her yes. And she said, "This course is," I don't know, I've forgotten the words she said, but when she said that, it actually planted a kind of fear in me. So I now noticed that people were scared of that course. And when she now told me it's a 3 credit unit course, and when she explained what 3 credit unit course meant, I was so scared. But then this is what happened. I was determined not to pass that, not to fail that course. Okay, so I attended all the lectures, I did all the assignments, and you will not believe it, when I wrote the first test, I had 14/20.
Wow.
Okay, you said wow. But I was crying because of, something had already been planted inside of me. So I was scared. I didn't want to fail. I heard that if I fail that course, it's going to reduce my GP, and if I pass that course, it's going to increase my GP. So me having 14/20, God, what's my chance of passing this course and stuff like that? So I was very, very scared. But then I did not allow my fears to overpower me, because I also met someone, and just like your case, you were guided. I met a lecturer who told me, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to put away that negative emotion, that negative feeling you have about this course. So I know the funny thing, what people are looking at as a big mountain, sometimes it's not really a mountain if you look at it very well.
So even to contribute to what you just said earlier, one thing we need to realize about life is that it's not about what people view.
That's true.
About what you want to do.
Yeah.
But what you view in what you want to do. Because there is an adage that says that what turns black to one turns white to another. So now what seems difficult to me may not be difficult to you if truly you will be able to sit down and check well.
That's true.
So sometimes receiving or taking advice from people is not bad, but we need to be selective,
right,
in kind of advice we receive from people. Because now, like the other senior of yours that you said earlier, because the course was a challenge to her, because we need to know the limit of our ability and our strength. So we cannot add or do beyond what our ability and our strength is.
Yeah.
So to our ability and our strength, now that is what she could, relate with. So she bringing that kind of information to you, and I believe you were new in the system then, so that's what affected you. But if you can sit down very well, that's the first thing we need to do when we want to embark on anything in life is self-evaluation.
Self-evaluation.
Because when you evaluate yourself, you'll be able to discover your ability, how whether we are able to achieve those things.
Sorry, let me cut you. Let's reserve this for when we start talking about how to handle it.
Yes.
Okay, so I must finish my story.
Okay, I'm listening.
Now the good news is I wrote that course, I wrote the exam, and guess what? I had A in that course.
Wow.
That course did a lot to my GP.
Wow.
But the second experience now came when I was in 200 level second semester.
Okay.
There's this same course, same chemistry course. They call it Chem 224, but I can't really tell the course title right now.
That means you know about those chemical things.
You
take me to that one.
As a science student,
that's right.
Due to what the course I'm studying, I have to do chemistry courses.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I offered this course on chemistry as well in my second semester 200 level.
Okay.
And that course, from the beginning of the lecture, I started seeing the content and I realized that, oh my God, this course is something else. This course is something else. Fear came. The thing is, fear will always come. It depends on how you handle it. So
right.
It came the second time, and this time I didn't gather enough information, so I was driven by fear. You would see me reading in the night. The only reason I'm reading, I don't want to fail this course. And it's not enough drive.
Yes.
When you are driven by emotion, it's just like a car on a destination to no area.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I was just studying. I could not even say what I was even studying. It affected me to a great extent. I wrote the test, I failed it. They gave another test on the day of the exam. I still failed. And not that I didn't study, I studied though, but because of fear had already overshadowed me that I could not think straight. I told myself,
okay,
Delight, you didn't do well at all. If you fail this course, just know it's not your village people. And if you pass this course, just know it's God's mercy. Well, God so kind, the results came out and I had an E in that course. I felt so bad because I knew that I could have done more if I had not allowed my fears to have overshadowed me. So, in 300 level first semester, I did a course similar to that, and that's when I now realized that exactly what I was scared of. In fact, I was even doing organizing tutorials for my classmates.
Wow.
Because I was not able to see that this course was not as difficult as I thought it was. So I think we've been able to share our experiences on how our fears conquered us, and another experience of how we're able to conquer our fears.
Yes, and that reminds me in the Bible, when Job says that he said the things I greatly fears has come upon me. At times, fears takes away our attention from our intention.
Yeah.
So when you are in the process, you want to achieve something.
Yes.
Which is your what? Is your aim. Yeah. Which is your intention.
Yes.
So fear will take you away your intention entirely. It will not allow you to concentrate. It will not allow you to focus. Even while I was my experience that I shared earlier, even while I was reading, that was the previous one. while I was reading, I gave in my best, but there was nothing to show forth for it. Because even though I tried to study, I tried to read, because I didn't study because of interest. I studied because out of fear. So because of that, I see the result of fear, not the result of what I wanted.
That's true.
So sometimes a fear takes away our intention.
Or rather, our attention.
Our attention. Sorry.
Yes.
The fear takes away our attention from our intention, because it is our attention that will not affect our intention, which is the result.
That's true.
So,
that's true. Oh wow, we're having a great time already.
Absolutely.
So before we go further, let's take a quick break.
Right.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about the negative effect of fears. Welcome back to the Experience Talk Show. So we are discussing on a very interesting topic, which is titled Handling Fears. And here with me in the studio is
Francis
Odeh, and I am Delight Abel, your presenter, and he is also a presenter. You know, we started by defining fear as an uncontrollable emotion caused by actual or perceived threat or danger. And after that, we moved to discussing our experiences, how we were able to handle fears in some, and how fears were able to conquer us in some. So we are moving next to negative effects of fears. The negative effects of fears. So over to you, Sir Francis. What would you say are the negative effects of fears? I think I need just 2 points from you.
All right. Thank you so much once again.
You're welcome.
You know, in the process of our discussion earlier, you know, I had to draft some points.
Yeah.
So, and one thing we need to understand is that another word I will use to replace, that is in a positive way of fear, that is power.
Power.
Because when fear is in place, we are powerless. And when fear is out of the place, we are powerful. Now, what do I mean by that?
It confused.
Okay.
When fear is in place,
yes, we are powerless.
We are powerless.
Yes.
Is that it? And
because I will go to my point, but I want to explain something. You have to know that power in the development, when we're in secondary school, they say power is the ability to do something.
So to energy.
To energy. So when fear is in place, your capacity, your power to actualize your aim or how can I put it, maybe intention.
Yeah, intention is good.
So you won't be able to have that energy will not there.
Okay, I get it now.
Do you understand that? So when power reduces, it comes to, you know, demolishes our what? Our strength, our innermost strength.
Okay.
So the point I want to talk about is the one thing that fear does is it hides our ability, or it makes them invisible. Like you shared one experience previous before we went for a quick break. You said something about your senior. She said something, and though you later realized that you could do better.
Yes.
If you didn't put fear into the place.
That's true.
So you could see that fear has already has tampered with your ability in that particular place. You have that inner strength. You have that ability. The ability is there, but the only thing is that you were unable to realize it.
That's true.
So because of that, you were unable to actualize the results that you're supposed to you're supposed to see. So one thing that fear does to me is it hides our ability, or it makes them invisible. not to see, not to realize our abilities.
We can do.
Not we can do. The Bible says, he said, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. So when fear is in place, you are not more seeing the strength again, you are seeing your weakness.
That's true. That's true.
So the strength of God, the ability which He has put in us is already there. But because of fear will take it away. Fear will take your eyes off of the strength. So fears, it limits our what?
Our ability
and what we can do. It hides them and then make them invisible for us not to realize or for us not to see them. And it also limits our capacity or capability. So that is another. And the second point is it limits our interest, or it limits your interest to your utmost result. Not like you shared it already, because you were studying a particular course, not because you want to because of the fear that you don't want to pass the course. Now the second point now is, one thing we need to realize is that fear limits our interest.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, now part of what you said earlier, part of your experience, your interest is for you not to fail that course. You understand what I'm trying to say? Your interest is for you not to fail the course. But in as much there is fear in the picture, it limits the interest.
Yes.
Even if you carry the handout or the book you are reading, because there is fear, the interest itself is lost, is frustrated.
Yes, frustrated, that's the word.
So the interest itself is already picked up, so it has been frustrated. So you just, sometime when I'm studying my Bible sometime and I'm not in the mood to study my Bible, it do happen to me like that sometimes. I will just be reading, but nothing is entering. So the interest have been killed, or have been damaged by fear. So we need to watch out. We need to deal with it effectively. We need to deal with it with all that we possess, because fear is a disease and it is a threat to humanity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me also continue from there. One of the negative effects of fear is that fear teaches lies to its captive.
Can you explain that?
Okay. So it's just like a person standing behind you and telling you can't do this, you can't be this. Before you know it, it becomes a welcome idea. Actually, I want to also say that fear has no life apart from the life we give to it.
That's right.
In some ways, actually.
Yes.
So your fears are known for lying to people. They tell you, like, they limit you. Like, just like you said, they tell you can't do anything, you can't amount to anything. But then the Bible says otherwise, that I can do all things. Sometimes, like when you were saying that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, I was trying to reason, like my mind could not even comprehend. You mean all things? But when fear is in the picture, you begin to see the other side of it. You begin to see that you cannot do anything.
You're right.
So fear lies to you, and it does that consistently. One of the aim of fear is if it can just get you off track, it's fulfilled.
And it's one of the weapons that devils use at times.
No wonder the Bible says he comes to steal, to kill, and
to destroy. Because one of the attributes of the devil is to lie to you with fears.
Yes.
Because fear, like I said earlier, it will take away the ability of God in you. The strength in which He has put in you, He will take it away. So you don't have any other option than to see the limitation. It's, for instance, as we are sitting there, we can't see what is happening in the other side, because we are being covered or limited by the wall. That's what fear does. When the victory between man's success and man's failure is the perimeter of the fear in between.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sir Francis. You've been contributing a lot so far.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. So, viewers at home, this topic is actually very interesting and at the same time very broad. We cannot exhaust it all in a day. So what will happen is, next time when we come, we'll continue from where we stop, talking about the negative effect of fears, and not just that, to every problem there is a solution. So don't be dismayed. There is hope for you. If you're out there experiencing one fear or the other, I tell you there is hope for you. And do not forget to like, to comment, to subscribe, and share this video. Someone out there may need it, I tell you. I remain your host and presenter, Delight Abel, and here with me, Francis Odeh. Let's meet next time. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you.